responsibility off of the Batiste with an Honor, another primary healer. I think you can see him do a lot of nice things damage-wise. As you see, yeah, I mean, you got Crystal here using the tank mode. Is this going to be a wash of a fight in favor of the Spark? As he's able to...
Friday of Week 2, Stage 2 of the Overwatch League would begin with a story of two teams both vying for redemption. Both the Los Angeles Valiant and the Atlanta Reign had recently been on a bit of a losing streaks. Valiant's of course being much greater, them being 0-7 throughout the season so far, but the Atlanta Reign have yet to really make a dent this season as well. On Lijiang Tower, that story would continue despite the best efforts of Fried, not FRD, Fried on the D.Va, getting a decent bomb, but ultimately Atlanta Reign would play very passive on both stages and get run over in a 2-0 fashion by the Valiant.
Aggro and letting himself die so his team can clean up. Here's the combo.
Oh man, just wombo combo everywhere. There's the boom from FRD! 3 kills, perfect self-destruct.
Moving on to Paris, the Atlanta Reign would regroup mentally and utilize both the map geometry at the choke point as well as sneaky grabs from Baby Bay to really push Valiant to the brink. Los Angeles Valiant would eventually cap through point A and B with a sliver of time, but it wasn't very difficult for Atlanta to steamroll through their offense both times and hold Valiant yet again. The Atlanta Reign would carry that momentum all the way to Blizzard World, where Valiant looked largely lost the entirety of the map, unsure of what they wanted to accomplish in every fight and every push. The Atlanta Reign would full hold the Valiant and then easily get the one-tick cap to give themselves a 2-1 lead in the series. Between map 3 and 4, however, the Valiant seemed to have slapped themselves back into the mental game and looked much more sure of what they wanted to do. Using the classic triple tank, triple support lineup, they would push all the way through on their offense and force Atlanta Reign to set the same time. Atlanta, however, on their offense, would come out of the gate with a very strange composition, a triple dive tank Sombra, no Zenyatta, that didn't have enough damage to really bring it to the Valiant. Eventually, the 3-3 swap would happen from both teams, but the Valiant would hold the Atlanta Reign just shy of that full cap and force a 5th map. The first round would go back and forth between both teams until Baby Bay made a crucial mistake.
Right away if they want. Baby Bay does just that!
After that, round 1 was easy for the Valiant to steamroll with their ultimate advantage. However, Atlanta, determined to bring themselves back in the series, would stop that steamroll and find themselves a 100-0 win on Mecha Base by just some solid coordinated play. Valiant, however, would match that same play in the 3rd and final round on Downtown, giving themselves the win on the map and thus the win in the series. Match 2 of the day would feature the Boston Uprising versus the Hangzhou Spark, where both teams up and down, but Boston coming off a hot triple reverse sweep win streak. The first map of Oasis would be largely contested, both teams taking different rounds with the triple tank, triple support mirror matchup. But once Oasis moved on to the Garden stage, Hangzhou Spark would have a very interesting bunker composition on control that would surprise Boston Uprising and give them the win on the map.
Responsibility off of the Batiste with an Honor, another primary healer. I think you can see him do a lot of nice things damage-wise. As you see, yeah, I mean, you got Crystal here using the tank mode. Is this going to be a wash of a fight in favor of the Spark? As he's able to pick up.
The Uprising, no strangers to being down in a series, would look to come back on the second map of Temple of Anubis. Once there, both teams would have treehouse bunker sort of defenses and offenses that featured a Genji. However, Boston Uprisings would be just a little bit cleaner despite Color Hex being shut down by a Riptire. Boston Uprising would give themselves a bit more time going into the time bank rounds and be able to take the one tick they needed after holding Hangzhou on point A. Blizzard World would be a tale of two Sombras, as RCK on the Boston Uprising would easily be able to help his team push all the way through Blizzard World, and Godsby on the Sombra himself would be able to give Hangzhou a respectable time. However, in Time Bank, it was truly RCK Sombra who was proven to be the dominant one, as Boston would claim the win on Blizzard World, giving themselves the 2-1 lead. Junkertown, however, wouldn't be so kind to the Boston Uprising, as they would debut on a strange passive Bastion attack, not the pirate ship, and also come out with a quad tank defense that got rolled by Hangzhou Sparks' offense, making it an easy full hold and point A cap for the Hangzhou Spark, sending us to a map 5. Lijiang Tower would be a contested map between both teams, but despite some excellent fragging potential from Aim God and a beautiful juggle coming out from Fusions, it would be Hangzhou Spark taking the win on this map and the series off the back of a very clever spawn camping boop from IDK. Match 3 of the day would feature a rematch of the electrically themed teams, as Guangzhou Charge would look to come back against the San Francisco Shock after being beaten by them 4-0 on Sunday. Oasis, however, wouldn't start off very well for the Charge, as they would play too passive, and San Francisco Shock would take that opportunity to completely roll through, claiming the map 2-0 and the 1-0 lead in the series. The San Francisco Shock would look to continue that momentum onto the second map of Paris, where despite being danced around point A by the Guangzhou Charge defense, they would be able to push through both A and point B, winning that second point off of a pseudo body block, pseudo C9.
Spark and not just go in one at a time, one concerted effort.
After that, the San Francisco Shock were able to stall the Guangzhou Charge all the way till overtime before the Charge could cap the second point, giving San Francisco an easy win condition for the Time Bank round and the 2-0 lead in the series. Moving on to map 3, Blizzard World, the San Francisco Shock would struggle a little bit on point A, off the back of some odd plays and a missed grab from Sinatra, but would ultimately clean that up and snowball all the way through the map. Afterwards, yet again, Shock showed their dominance, got the full hold, and won the series 3-0. Unfortunately for Charge fans, there would be no signs of life from the team in blue, as on Watchpoint Gibraltar, San Francisco Shock would easily push all the way through and then spawn camp Guangzhou Charge for the full hold victory. Really hope Guangzhou is gonna be charging up a defibrillator, because they certainly need a revival right now. The fourth and final match of day 2 of the week would feature the battle for China, as Chengdu Hunters, the only current full Chinese roster, would look to take down the Shanghai Dragons, who were the original Chinese team of the Overwatch League. It wouldn't start off well for Chengdu, however, as Shanghai Dragons would steamroll their way through Lijiang Tower using the Farragos composition as well as a nice Widow Pharah to deny any kind of value coming out from Chengdu, despite some nice hacks from Elsa. Moving into map 2 of Paris, Chengdu would look to come in armed and ready as they debuted their player Yang Xiaolong. Previously, Yang Xiaolong had visa issues, but he came out on the Junkrat, ready to completely shut down Shanghai's offense, give Chengdu the full hold, and an easy win condition for them to tie up the series. Kings Row would feature Chengdu Hunters moving back over onto those wacky strats we know and love them for, the Symmetra offense, but instead of going around the enemy, which we had seen from Chengdu before, they just went straight to the point, where they got decimated by Shanghai Dragon's bunker defense, and specifically Ding's Junkrat. Eventually, the swap would be forced out from Chengdu, but once Jinmu got on that Genji, it wasn't too difficult for Chengdu to get through A and B, utilizing his sick blade skills.
Into the next fight, Yeonjin having already switched here. Ding, number 2, he's out to get the Dragon Blade, gets Luffy as well, that's 2 for him! Straight on in!
Shanghai, however, would hold strong, shy of a full cap, and then speed run through Kings Row all the way up until 2.4 meters away from the victory, where Yang Xiaolong's McCree would temporarily save the Chengdu defense. However, with a 4-minute time bank, it wasn't to last, and Shanghai Dragons would claim the map and give themselves the 2-1 lead in the series. Almost fitting that once upon a time, the city of Shanghai spawned a pirate term, because moving on to Junkertown, the Shanghai Dragons would come out with that Bastion pirate ship offense and completely decimate both their point A and point B pushes. They would make the swap onto 3-3 after getting stalled a little bit, and push through point C as well. Chengdu Hunters then take up the task of anything you can play, we can play better, and also run a pirate ship through A and B of the map. However, unlike the Shanghai Dragons, Chengdu Hunters unable to make that full 3rd point cap once they get to the U-bend, giving Shanghai the 3-1 victory in the series. Thanks for tuning in, and you know the drill, it's YouTube, so if you liked the video, there's a button for that. If you didn't, leave a comment, we're always looking to improve. Either way, tune in tomorrow for another recap, and subscribe to Elohel Esports for more Overwatch content.